I'm still working on getting us some theme music. We'll see. We'll see. What's up, everybody? What's up? Thank you for joining us again. This is the 35th episode of the Cabrini Kid podcast. I'm your host, the champ, the Cabrini Kid himself, David Haywood. Over to my left, I have Mr. Perkins to you. You can find him on Instagram under that particular handle, Mr. Keinon KP Perkins.
There's
your music.
What up? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let's go. Happy Wednesday.
There's the theme music right there.
Music.
He got his own DJ sound effects. And then right below us, we have our special guest joining us this Wednesday, Miss Carolina Missett. Say what's up to the people out there.
Hello, hello. I like when they say Carolina. It's actually Carolina.
Carolina.
Roll the R.
I can't do that. I cannot do that. It affects other areas of my life too. I cannot do that. So real quick, since this is the 35th episode of the Cabrini Kid podcast, I just want to start off by saying make sure you like and subscribe, share with your friends, tell everybody that you know. The call-in number is still live. You can call in to talk to any of us right here, right now, right down below. And as always, if you go to www.savinci.store, you can use promo code ART25 to save 15% on your entire cart. Go ahead and support the movement. www.savinci.store, promo code ART25, ART25. Okay, so I was presented with a question earlier today, and I thought it was super interesting. So I want to kind of kick us off with that. What do women notice first about a guy on a first date? What do women notice first about a guy on a first date? Carolina, this is going to be.
It depends. Is it a first date because they met off an app, or is it a first date because someone set them up, or someone that they met organically? This depends, because if it's somebody that you're meeting up from an app, the first thing is does the picture align with the person you're meeting? Like that's like automatic.
Okay, so you checking to make sure. Okay, he said he was 6'3". Is he actually 6'3"?
A friend of mine who is like a veteran dating app person told me if a man puts that they're 5'11", chances are you want to take down 2 more inches because they're probably really 5. If a man says that they're 6 feet tall, chances are they probably are 6 feet tall. But if anyone that like claims to be like 5'10", 5'11", probably want to take like an inch or 2 down. So if it's from an app, you're hoping that the person that you're meeting is actually the person that was in the pictures.
Okay. And then what about like what he's wearing? How he's dressed? Where, like, do you look and see if he has nice shoes first or a nice watch?
Neither. I look to see whether or not they're clean, like they shaved, or they, don't look like they rolled out of bed, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Because I don't, a guy can dress so casual. I mean, for me personally, I can't speak for anyone else. It doesn't really matter. You can wear a t-shirt and jeans and I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? If that's the setting, then that's the setting. But if it looks like you didn't even take the time to like clean up, that'll probably be something that I am paying attention to.
Okay, Monica's checking in. Thank you so much, Monica. She says the outfit, the shoes, and the teeth. Teeth made the list. Make sure you got all his teeth. JoJo says 100% haircut.
Yeah, they're clean. Mm-hmm.
Of all the things, JoJo, you could have picked, you picked his haircut. KP, what's the first thing you notice about a woman on the first date?
I'm probably gonna say her style for sure, because I'm a big style guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about like name brand stuff or anything like that. I'm just talking about, just putting some together nice. I don't care where we're going, as long as it looks put together. It's a win. As far as physically, I mean, a nice smile is always great. I'm a big eye guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I love a good eye color. But I would definitely say if a girl is put together in her style, if she's stylish, I like a stylish female.
Okay. What if she's kind of frumpy, but you like her? This your first time meeting her, but she's kind of frumpy.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what that means either. Like, what does that mean?
Like kind of like grandma-ish, like style not super current.
See, when I hear frumpy, I think of like bigger.
I just like size, right? Like
size wise, yeah. I think of
I wouldn't think like.
I think of a more of a plus size female if you say frumpy, but if she doesn't have style, that's okay. I'm okay with that because my background. I love shopping. I love buying clothes for females. I love outfitting females. So yeah, I can definitely, we can change that. That's not an issue. I love buying.
We could fix that.
I've fixed a couple girls sauce in my day. A couple girls that I messed with did not have sauce. As soon as they got with me, they got sauce for sure.
And then afterwards, what happened? Did they continue with it or?
Yeah. I'll be sprinkling my sauce. Sprinkling that sauce.
Okay. Carolina, we got into an interesting conversation earlier this week. And I think we both had some good points.
Mm-hmm.
And really the I guess the main meat and potatoes of the conversation was my point was I think that men stopped. I'm trying to think how to explain it. I think women want grace from men in areas that they do not give grace to men. And what I mean by that is the example that we were talking about is, let's say you as a woman meet a man who lives with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
He could have a good reason why he lived with his parents. But from a man's perspective, I understand that to be very undesirable to women. But if a woman lives with her parents, she would want the man to be understanding and give her some grace for her situation and that not be a deal breaker on her end. Dive into that a little bit and explain, like, from a woman's perspective, in your dating life, do you feel like you've cut men off for things that you would want them to give you grace for?
I don't think I have. So I have a friend, and you got to think about age. Okay, so I'm, already going to be 48. First of all, so what I'm looking for in certain things, like, I will take more consideration because we are older. We tend to take care of our parents culturally también. We take care of our parents, and that I have to take that into consideration. So I have a friend that, great guy, absolutely great. And he takes care of his mom. He lives with his mom. He takes care of his mom. And no doubt about it, he's such a good person that I wish that he'd find someone, because I know that, he's such a nurturing individual, right? And I feel like if he meets someone, that woman should show grace, because, he's the only child. So naturally, he's taking care of his elderly mother. On the flip side, there was a time where I went on a date with someone, and this individual lives with their mother. So I tend to listen why. Like, why do they live with the parents? In this particular situation, it was like, oh, I stopped renting my brother's house, and I didn't want to continue paying all the bills anymore. So I moved in with my mom, and we kind of split the bills. So in a situation like that, I probably would not show grace, because you kind of just told me everything right there. Like, you just told me that you don't want to be in a situation where you have to pay, and I don't know what your affordability is. I don't know what you can do, but I mean, you've kind of already kind of given yourself away. So in that situation, I probably wouldn't show grace. Now, on the flip side, do I think that men, should automatically show grace to a woman? Again, looking at age, I would imagine it would be based on the situation. Like, if a woman is living with her parents because she keeps jumping from job to job, or whatever the situation is, that it's not where it was a dire situation, then yeah, I would expect that guy to be like, okay, that's just, you obviously have already shown that you can't be sustainable on your own. That means that either I accept that I'm going to have to sustain both of us, or accept that I'm going to have to figure out a way. And I don't think most men would, where I would have to teach you to be equally yoked with me, which I don't think that most men would do at this age. You know what I mean? But if it's a situation where, like, hey, I take care of my mom, there's my brothers and sisters, everybody's off, in different places, maybe different states. And, like for myself, I'm my mom's power of attorney, you know what I mean? In the event that my mom, she has Alzheimer's. And so there's going to come a point where, yes, I'm going to take my mom, you know what I mean? And hopefully the person, if there is, understands, like, ask, like, okay, why that is. And I can explain it. Now, whether or not they want to show me grace and continue, that's totally up to them. I mean, I don't really care less. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
KP, I saw you smiling earlier.
I think that most women do want the grace shown, which typically they would get that grace shown comparatively to most men. I don't think most men in this day and age can live with their parents or have roommates and
it'd be cool.
It'd be cool, or it'd be sustainable. Sustainable, I think, is the key word. Because there's going to be times when mama wants to walk around, and mama can't, because I got a roommate, or because I'm living with my parents.
We got Nick checking in. He said, KP looking dummy fresh today, giving you compliments. He said, what's good? What's up, Nick? Thanks for checking in again. I think Nick been in every week for like the last 4 or 5 weeks, ain't he?
Yeah, Nick's my guy. Appreciate you, water boy. So yeah, I think we're not afforded the same. We're not afforded the same. There's no way. There's no way, if ands or buts. I do agree with her to some degree. If there is a story, you're watching, you're a sick mom, sick parent, things of that nature. I think those are all great reasons, but I think those are great reasons at the beginning. But is it sustainable? That woman may at some point be like, so I can't come over, and even though mom's laying up in the room, I can't come over. Like, I want to come to your place sometime.
Well, when I say what I say, it's where, if we're talking about like in a sense of maturity thinking, right? But do I agree that there is an indifference? 100%. I'm sorry. Like, just like there are things that men would rate and judge a woman, and where she would in a different category, where they will show no grace because of certain things. Absolutely. But in the same thought, is there an indifference? 100%. There's always going to be an indifference between men and women.
What category do you think that is?
Huh? What category do I think that is? I don't know. You're a guy. Tell me.
I'll
let you agree.
No, I would love to know, like, what category do you think that we would give a woman a pass comparatively to us getting a pass?
That were well, in the topic with parents, I think men will be more inclined to give a woman a pass, right?
Okay.
But if it was a man judging a woman based on, let's just having her children, okay, I think that a man wouldn't normally necessarily give a pass right away, to be very honest with you.
If a woman has children?
Children, yeah. And especially if
Okay.
a woman has children from different men.
Okay,
That
so
is that's reality. A man would not give us a pass on that. Like,
but you think that I mean, you might be right. You think that a woman would give a pass to a guy who has different kids with different women?
I've seen it more with women because they don't usually measure with the like, for some reason, like, we don't equate all that together. If the man is good, and even more so if he's like great with his kids, he just looks more attractive. Like, he's
right,
good with
he wants somebody to step in here.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's just the truth. Like, if I see like this guy has a kid, and and I'm not gonna pass it up, because if I see that, oh my God, he goes to his soccer games, he shows up for him. If anything, that just makes him more attractive. The fact that he can manage, and multitask his life, personal, business, and then still be a father. And then even more so, if he has a good co-parenting relationship, he's just more attractive at that point.
Jojo said, if a woman doesn't drive, it's not a big deal. But if a man don't drive, why though? You mean like he don't have a car?
Yeah.
Is it?
And I think
I agree with that, because if you met a woman and you didn't have a car,
that's bad news bears. It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough to overcome that.
That's a. I mean, like, I gotta. Yeah.
That's harder to overcome than having a roommate later in life. Like, you can.
Well,
I would agree.
In Arizona, it's almost not. Why? Because you can say the whole DWI excuse, things of that nature. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough if you don't have a whip, man. If you don't have a whip, it's tough. But if you think about it this way, not counting the daily, if you're just trying to get said female, technically you don't really need a car. You could say, if you're going to dinner, you could say, I can Uber, get an Uber Black. We might have a couple of drinks, Uber there back, no car. Now, again, discounting the daily interaction.
Right. How is that sustainable?
Yeah, it's not sustainable. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to date someone for a few times, if you're trying to take someone out, you can get away with it. Maybe you're in the process of getting a car, things of that nature. But no, if a dude doesn't have a car, no chance. If a girl doesn't have a car, the dude is like, picking you up every time. Every time.
You can probably get away with it. You can probably get away with it, like city living, right? Because then it's like, why are we driving? Like, it's just, let's just go walk over there, or let's just take, like you said, let's take an Uber. Hey, let's jump on one of those scooters. Like, that's not really.
Let's take birds. Let's go downtown and get birds.
Yeah, hey, let's call Waymo.
So long you can get away with it, though.
Yeah, true. There's only so long, but you can probably get away with it for a minute.
I agree with that.
Carolina, what would you say? What's the wildest thing you've ever done for a guy?
I don't know what you would consider wild, honestly. I was raised like, my grandmother used to always say, like, men are like buses. You wait 5 minutes, another one's on the way. Don't ever go out of your way to, like, do anything for them at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we were raised. Well, that's how I was raised. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't chase, never go out of your way for someone. However, when I was married, there was a circumstance where one of my husband's exes came into the picture, and was doing all kinds of threats and crazy things, and almost putting his livelihood on the line. You know what I mean? we weren't married yet. We were just kind of dating. And of course, I did stand up for him. I got on the phone with her. I had it out with her. I put her in her place. I think that's probably the extent that I have ever gone for anybody, for any man. But at the end of the day, like, it was because she was trying to extort money, and his livelihood was on the line. And we may not have been married. We were just, I think, barely starting to date. You know what I mean? At that point, I saw it more like, what, he's a good person, did a good thing, and now it's coming to bite him in the ass. And I kind of always would like, I'm always putting if I feel like somebody's being done wrong, like, I'm gonna stand up for them. So I think that's it. But otherwise, hell no, I'm going like an extent. No.
Would you, let's say you're in a relationship and he said, but y'all don't live together.
Mm-hmm.
Said, babe, I'm gonna be short on the rent this month. Let me hold 1,000 and I'm gonna get you back as soon as possible.
No.
But y'all in a relationship, this your man.
I don't care. I won't do it. I would never ask, and I would never do it. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. That's just me. I wouldn't do it. Mm-mm. I would, because the entrepreneur side of me would be like, well, let's figure things out. And because I come from a background of being in finance, what I mean, and my degrees are in finance, I'd be like, you know what? Why the hell not? What are you spending your money on? What are you doing? Let me help you budget. Let me help you come up with something that would work.
I don't need a budget. I need $1,000.
I don't care. You'll get $1,000 next month if you pay attention to my steps of saving money.
The first is tomorrow. I need $1,000 in 20.
Ni modo. Yep.
Nick said, "L take."
I don't care what you need. If you need money that bad, better go sell plasma, do whatever you got to do, but it's not coming from me.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not agreeing with you on this one. It depends on the relationship, I think.
Would you loan a girl $1,000, KP?
It depends on how long we've been together.
A year.
Yeah, I probably would. If I had it, yeah, I would.
And then if she's saying, let's say you give it to her, 3 months go by, she back on her feet. 3 months go by, you still ain't got your $1,000.
I would give it to her with the expectation of internally of not getting it back.
Mm-hmm. So like internally, you would never think about it as a loan. Like if you're gonna give it, you just say goodbye to it. If they give it back to you, great. But you've already
yeah.
Nick said she right, and I think what she's saying, but we married. God said we're one, not two.
But in this example, we were not married.
Oh, so if you're
married,
it's different.
Yeah, if we're married, that's different. But if we're not married, hell no.
How would you live together?
If we live together, then I would hope that you're, handling your part of the end. Because if I know that you need 1,000, I'm more than likely you're not able to pay your fair share. And chances are, I'm that for me, I wouldn't tolerate it. Honestly, I've been down that road already, where I had someone living with me, and I took care of the majority of all the bills, and they were always freaking broke all the time. And I was the one paying for the dinners, paying for everything in the house, and they were living with me. And you know what? Honestly, I was patient for about the first 4 months, but after that, a woman will get tired of it. Like, she will get tired of it. She will get tired of holding down everything and knowing that she's done.
Wait, hold on.
And then when I see this full goal, like go golfing, and I'm thinking to myself, like, no, if you are in a certain situation and you're having all these other things that you're doing, extracurriculars, you know what I mean, then it's just poor management in my part. It's just poor management.
Is this the person you lived with?
Yeah, this is someone that I did allow to live with me.
Okay.
It was very short-lived. Very short-lived.
So hold on for a second. So you allowed someone, I noticed what you said here. You allowed someone to live with you within 4 months?
No, we lived together. The first 4 months, I allowed it. Like, I was
The
I
first
took
4 months of y'all living together.
like I took everything into consideration. Like I took everything in consideration. The person did not make as much as I did. You know what I mean? Okay. I know that he was moving into my house, and I knew that my expenses were a lot more from where he was coming from. So, you know, I let it go on, but at some point, you know, when you start to see things and you start to see his patterns of spending, you start to realize that you're in that situation because of the pattern of spending. It's not because you can't, it's because your pattern of spending. Again, I come up from a very strong financial background. So for me, that's the first thing I'm looking at. I'm checks and balances. You know, what are you doing?
Hmm.
¿Qué dice? I got you.
Nick said, okay, nah, if we're not married, I'm with Carolina. I got you. Okay, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. KP, I got presented with another topic today. And I feel like this is good for you and Carolina. When was the last time you got rejected? When was the last time you liked somebody and they was just like, nah, I'm good?
You mean genuinely like someone, or just like tried to holler at them and I got rejected? Because that's different.
I mean, genuinely liked them.
Honestly, I don't really have an answer to that question, to be honest with you. I can't say that there's been many that I've truly entertained on that level. So, you know, it's hard to say. But just getting trying to holler at someone and not getting their text back or something like that, yeah, that happens. I mean, but shooters keep shooting.
Carolina, what about you?
I would have to agree with him. Like, honestly, I've never actually really liked someone and got rejected. I try not to put too much attention into someone that may not be available, because then it's like pointless. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever been in that position where I've actually liked someone a lot and been rejected.
But then that sounds like you just protecting yourself in case they say no.
No, like, I mean, I mean, I guess you can put it that way. I just don't open up to just random, you know what I mean? If I know that they're in a situation where they're not, you know, available in whatever aspect, like, I mean, I'm not going to put energy into that. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to do that. Why would I do that?
No, but like you know this person, you like him. He doesn't know that you like him like that, but maybe y'all have had some conversations, communications. Y'all known each other for a little bit, and one day you say, you know what? I think I'm gonna shoot my shot at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's available, but he just is like, you know what? I just don't see you like that.
I mean, it all, like, what you're explaining is something hypothetical. I've never been in that situation, so I really couldn't answer that. You know what I mean?
So both of y'all betting 1,000.
No, I've never been in that
Both
situation.
of y'all are betting 1,000. Y'all don't never miss.
No, so when you say genuinely like someone, that
right.
in my opinion, that just because you want to go out with someone and see where things may go doesn't mean that you can see necessarily a future with said person, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, me perdites, yeah. I don't even know what, like, if you lost me. No.
Yeah, but
okay,
you've already decided that you like this person and you want to see where it goes, and they have no interest in that.
So are you saying, like, he and I are friends? We kick it. We're always hanging out. We're really good friends. We've established this really good rapport. And then somewhere along the line, he developed feelings. Is that what you're saying? And then he went ahead and decided, you know what? I didn't realize that I have developed feelings for Carolina, you know, but we hang out. We do all this stuff together. We're cool. Like, we're mad cool. We can kick it and do whatever. but somewhere along the line I develop feelings, I'm going to let her know, and then I reject them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, that's one way. That's one way to look at it. Because I'm saying, like, even if you haven't hung out with this person before, and it's just somebody you may know, it could be a coworker, it could be somebody you see at the club once a week, it could be, and oh man, I'm gonna holler at her next time I see her. Oh, that guy's really attractive. He comes in and gets coffee every day at this time. Next time he come in, I'm gonna shoot my shot. And you do that, and they're just like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I've just never been in that situation.
I'll probably say about a year or two ago. Yeah, I would say about a year or two ago.
What was that? That sounded like it's story time.
No, there's no story time. There's no story time, no.
But I guess to feed off of that, how do y'all handle rejection when it comes to your feelings not being reciprocated? Kyrie checking in. Kyrie back again. What's up, Kyrie? Kyrie said, "Damn."
I mean, it's cool. I mean, yeah, it's if I'm cool with the person and I tried to holler at her and she said no, or she wasn't going, or it depends on how she communicated that energy back.
Mm-hmm.
If that energy was communicated in a very, cool way, cool. Now, if it was in a negative way, or a disrespectful way, then of course no. But I've never had that happen in a disrespectful way, but it has happened in a cool way, and still talk to that person still to this day.
I feel like women decide very early on the place you're going to be for them. Like they decide very early on, like, okay, we're you can mesh well and everything goes really good, but we just decide automatically very early on whether or not we're going to keep you as this friend. And most women will value to uphold the friendship before crossing that line, because we'll fear losing that good relationship. So I feel like it's different for women because we decide early on where that's going to be.
I've heard that women do that, but I think we've also heard of women saying, you know what, this dude's been in the friend zone, but I'm gonna take him out the friend zone and give him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that women are so naive that a guy that they put in the friend zone, that they think he's not waiting on the green light. Mm-hmm. At some point. Now, he may not be waiting around. He may still be out dating and doing whatever and living his life and
right,
and doing whatever. But when women put guys in the friend zone, I don't think it's because they're like, he's not interested in me at all. Mm-hmm. She may not be interested in him like that, but I do think that, and KP could probably attest to this as well. Sometimes you get called up to the big leagues. You might be in the minors, and then one day you get that call and says, "We putting you on the bench." Mm-hmm. And now you're no longer in the minor leagues, you're in the big leagues because coach put you in the game. And I think a lot of guys have probably been through that. So, yes, I agree with you when you say women decide very early on what box they're going to put you in. But sometimes you make it out of that box.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, but like I said, I mean, I think that, to be honest with you, and just based on my group of my circle, like it's not often. It's more seldom than anything, to be honest with you. Is it nothing's infinite, right? It's not absolute. Women can decide.
True, Kyrie.
I mean, nothing's infinite.
That is true, Kyrie. That is true. I agree with Kyrie wholeheartedly. Men do
decide as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
But do you feel like men are more, what's the word, flexible with that decision as opposed to women? Like Carolina, you said women are like, well, I don't want to cross that line with him because then I might lose him as a friend if it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
Do you feel like men are just more like, I don't care? Like,
Oh, 100%. 100%. Men are, but then again, men, like, for example, let's say me and it's our situation, right? And
Mhm.
now he's coming at me, we've been in the front zone. I think men wouldn't take it as personal as a woman would if it was the other way around. So like
Mhm.
if a man got rejected, but they've been long time friends, he would be subtle. He'd be like, okay, I understand, you know what I mean, and be able to still continue a friendship without the awkwardness. If it was in reverse, I think women would hold it more personal, you know what I mean, and probably
Mhm.
take a step back instead of being more like, hey, you know what, he rejected me, like, but I still want to be a friend. I think women would take it more personally if it was the other way around. So yeah, I do think so, but I think men will also show more grace, in the friendship and be like, okay, that's fine, and move on.
Mhm.
Why do you think that is?
There goes that word again, grace.
Why do you
Because
think that is?
women are, I'm just gonna bite me in the ass off for saying this, but women are very emotionally strong in the sense, like, not like strong, like emotional, like emotionally strong. I mean, like, they will carry a lot of things based on emotion on the forefront before rationalizing their decisions. You know what I mean? That's just,
So
No, I'm
you're saying
asking.
they react out of emotion
yeah,
first and then
absolutely,
think about it.
100%. Women tend to react more on emotions than they do, taking the time to like process things. It's not very common that a woman will immediately start processing things, to give a proper reaction. They would usually react and then realize, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, and then they have that aftermath. Men are not typically like that. Men are, they don't react quickly. They're like, okay, and then they take off and then they process like, oh, well, it didn't work out, but I still want to keep the friendship.
But why do you think the men? Is that why you think that men are? Is that why you think they do that? Because they don't react as fast?
It could be. I'm not a man. I don't know, but I can just speak towards like most of my male friends. That's how they are. You know what I mean? And I have more male friends than I have female. I get along better with males than I do with women. And it's because, I learn a lot when I see, like, in their own relationships and situations that they've been in, they're not quick to be negatively reactive. They're, they'll like, okay, and then they'll take a step back and then process it all. They're not quick to be, emotional, I guess. And I know that's probably, people don't want to hear that because I'm a woman, and here we are like talking about women being emotional. Well, this is the truth. We're emotional beings. It's freaking accept it. Like, that's who we are. And even more if we're like in Latin cultures, like, it's like we're feisty women.
He said,
My husband was Caucasian. Like, so when he got a taste of like what I was like, it was like night and day for him because he had never dated anybody outside of his race ever. And then
So
met
is
me
that,
and then got into our
no,
first argument, and then he really saw who, like how I was. Like, yeah, I was reactive quickly on things versus he was more calm and, let's talk about it, let's communicate, let's process everything. And yeah,
so
he had a
have you ever had this? Have you ever had this train of thought? I'm just throwing it out there.
hmm.
That one of a reasons that man sticks around in that friendship is because they want to spin the block, or they could potentially want to spin the block at some point.
I have no idea what that means. Say it to me differently.
like if they like y'all start hanging out, y'all hook up once or twice, it doesn't work out. He's not going to be the one to say, I don't even want to be friends with you anymore. He's going to be like, we tried, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
KP's asking, do you think men say that because they, in a year from now, he might be like, I'm going to call Carolina and see what she's doing.
I don't know. I would say, so you're saying if they do hook up, right?
Mhm.
And there's the intimacy is all there, right? And then all of a sudden something falls out,
Yeah.
and his reaction would be still on a calmer nature.
Yeah. He still
I
keep it
think it-
cool. Still
I
fine.
think,
Everything.
I think that he would be a lot more calmer than the woman. I think the woman would take it more personal. Absolutely. I would think that she would feel more probably offended, probably feel like, well,
No, we're asking, do you think that man would think that he would be able to have sex again because you guys are still friends?
with that person.
Yeah.
That's that person.
Yes.
Do I think a man?
Like, is he
Part of me
keeping
will
the
say,
relationship friendly?
because men could be very nonchalant and cocky and probably think that. But then, you do have your other men who are like, you know what, it didn't work, wasn't, and I don't want to hurt her. So I think like it's hard to say because I think it's 50-50. I think that on both ways.
Do you typically
Kyrie said it's 50-50 on that.
Kyrie, come on, man. You know better. Kyrie, you stop it. Cut it out.
Okay. I can see what KP's saying. He's saying that I can see where he's coming from, and
it doesn't have to be one
wrong. But I feel like if a woman did that, she's not going to spend a block. If
she's not going to
hooked up and it didn't work,
she's not going to go back and entertain it again.
She's not going to go back in a year, and
a woman wouldn't. But would I think that a man would try again? Probably. Probably. Yeah. But do I feel like more on the nature that will a woman entertain it again? Like if he comes back around, will she entertain it again? Probably not. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for wishing and hopeful thinking. I mean, to each his own.
Here's a good question. What do you think men get out of being friends with women? Because you said I get along better with guys than I do girls. So I'm assuming you have more.
Too, like my experiences with all of my male friends is that our friendships have lasted through the ages, like years, because of the fact that I try to, well, at least for me, I try to keep it on a no judgment kind of shit. Like he can tell me the worst of whatever the situation is, and I keep it just real and honest. And most of the time they take it and we're done talking about it. It doesn't go on for like ever and ever in conversations. You know what I mean? So I'm able to maintain like a lot of my male friends just because of the fact that, they find it easier to communicate with me about their specific issues. I have a friend now where he's been with this girl for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, whatever. And he's now seeing certain things that, are cause for concern, and they live together. And so when he's talking to me, it's like, okay, we're communicating and I just keep things grounded. Like, okay, well, here's how you could handle it. And he, yes, sometimes he takes the advice, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he thinks on it, sometimes he doesn't. But he's getting a female's perspective on things. And I think that's probably why. I think men appreciate a female's perspective is why they would go to a female friend for information, for stuff.
Jojo said, "My guy friends keep me grounded."
Yeah. I think guys do that too.
So you're saying his main benefit, or a guy's main benefit, is getting another woman's perspective on his current situation.
I mean, I think that's one. I don't think that's the bulk of it. There could be many reasons. You know what I mean? I think like Carrie said, we help. I think we mutually help each other out in having those friendships. Is interesting enough. This is like with one of my friends. He recently had experienced some of his friends passing away from a heart attack, and you're like, damn, like he's was really young. He's like 50 years old, and I wish he would have told us, blah blah blah. And when we were talking, he's like, it's weird because women talk more about their like their health and their health issues or health concerns and mental health and all that stuff, but like he never told us anything. So like in that situation, like it kind of helps one another, you know what I mean, a lot, where he probably wouldn't go to, like he even said himself, like it's hard for me to go to my guy friends and talk about like, that I'm having, these medical issues. And because all we do is like we meet up, we have some drinks, we smoke some cigars, and like we're not there talking about serious shit. I think men find it easier to talk to a female friend about some serious things.
KP, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I've got way more girlfriends than I do guy friends. But I'm a guy's guy. But I have way more girlfriends. Like, I mean, I love all my girlfriends, but I'm more so the listener and the advice giver comparatively to them listening to me, if that makes sense. So they come to me for more things than I would say that I would go to them about. So I'm more so, I would say, I'm more so the nurturer, if that makes sense. KP the nurturer. KP the nurturer. Who would have thought, right?
Right. You choked on that saying
it. See, but I love when my girlfriends come to me with asking me advice about men, especially those that.
Geneva checking in. She said, that's because you're a Leo. That's why you have lots of girlfriends, quote unquote.
Anyway, so
Guy P the fifth.
Yeah. So I love giving my girlfriends advice because it's like some they know and they just need it to be reiterated to them. But then there's some that are like clueless. And then I love like kicking game to them and like, listen, this is what's going on. I'm gonna just keep it real. And they know I'm gonna be.
So you out here telling the game.
I'm not telling the game, but
that's what I just heard. That's what I just heard.
These are my girls, so I can't let them get hurt because they gonna come to me being hurt, and then so they gotta be a mini Keinon in a sense. They gotta be a mini Keinon. They gotta think like a mini Keinon because I'm gonna give them the real unfiltered. the real unfiltered game.
Okay, Steve Harvey.
Sam, what up, my guy? The real unfiltered game. It is free game. It's free game. I don't think girls give better game to their guy friends than guys give better game to their girlfriends.
I don't know.
No comment.
I would say I guess it kind of depends because I would agree with Carolina when she says guys don't, even if a guy has a female friend, he's probably not going to tell her certain things, right? If you're not going to be in it, like if you're having an issue and you're not being 100% transparent or 100% forthcoming about what the issue is, then you're not going to get useful information, right? Bad info out, bad info in, bad info out. So you're not going to get useful information out of that interaction. But would I say that girls give guys bad game?
No, I didn't say they give us bad game.
You said guys give girls better
game than women give us about women.
That's because women don't they don't tell the secrets, and you out here telling the secrets.
I'm not telling the
Girls,
secrets.
women take girl code very seriously. Guys do not.
No,
Depending on who the guy
different.
is.
That's if my girlfriend is coming to me, I don't know who the dude is. If she's coming to me saying this and this and this is happening, of course I'm gonna say this is what's probably happening. Now, what she does with that information is up to her. If she breaks up with him, she breaks up with him. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I don't think that's giving away free game. How's that giving away free game? How are you supposed to help your friend if you're not going to tell her what to expect or what you think may be happening?
Because I think that guys have to have a certain level of confidence, and that's what bro code is. Women have girl code.
I don't know, buddy.
But like let's say Carolina has a female friend, right? And you dating her female friend. But the female friend is like one of her best friends, but she's hung out with you a handful of times too. She like you, y'all kick it, you all been on some trips, y'all go do whatever, yada yada, right? And if you go to her and say, hey, such and such has been acting real weird, you know, have you seen it? Like, what's going on with her? She's not gonna tell you
so
what her friend is doing. She's not going. She's not.
You're 100%. Okay, so you're 100%. You're 100% wrong in the way you're thinking, because I think you're confused with what I said. I agree with you on that. I wouldn't do that. Here's the example that I'm using. Jordan is my best friend. I have a girlfriend. Jordan is not going to, and I asked Jordan what she thinks about this and this that's going on in my relationship with old girl. She's not going to give me better game to help me in that situation than I would give her better game than her helping her with her dude in her situation.
But you agreeing with me, and I'm saying the reason she's not going to give you better game is because she's not going to break girl code. That's what I'm saying.
No. She's going to give me game. She's going to give me game, but it's not going to be.
She's going to give you like a response. She's going to be like, she probably just not.
No, because
she's not going to break it down.
That's what your example makes it seem like she's ratting on her best friend.
Yeah, I think you guys are on two different type of.
Yeah, like because
your wavelengths are not the same.
If I'm dating her friend, he's basically. I would expect for her not to.
I'm having relationship issues. I'm having relationship issues, and I go to him, and he's my friend, and I'm telling him, "Hey, this is my relationship issues. This is what's going on. You know, what's your take in it?" And then he gives me advice. Right? He's giving me advice, and then what he's saying is that if it was the other way around, let's say, for example, he's having relationship issues, and now he's coming to me as his friend, like longtime friend. He's saying that my advice wouldn't be as great of advice as he would give it if the shoe was on the other foot.
Right, and I understand that. What I'm saying, I'm giving the reason why the advice wouldn't be as good. I'm agreeing with what he's saying. The girl's advice is not going to be as good against another girl because she's not going to break girl code.
You don't know that girl.
So you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong. So look, that's what this is like. You're saying that if I'm giving him relationship advice, I'm not going to give him the best advice I could give him as equivalent to the advice he would give me because I'm girl code.
You're looking out for the other girl.
No,
I'm not.
Yeah, no.
You're looking out for the other girl, especially
Jordan, chime in.
First of all, girl code only applies to like literally like your girlfriends, like someone that you would know. Like let's say, for example, like his girl that he's having relationship issues with is a good friend of mine. You know what I mean? I may give him advice, and you're right. It probably wouldn't be as great because I'm friends with her.
Friend,
and now I'm at the cusp of like the boundary, right? Where it can be interpreted where I'm going too far and picking a side. So women will, like, if they know the woman, but actually know the woman, have a relationship with that woman to some degree, a woman would more than likely like only give to a certain degree, right? So let's scale it 1 to 10. I probably would give you 6 of advice. Versus like if I didn't know that girl for nothing, I probably would give him a level of a 10 advice.
So that's your best guy friend, and you know his girlfriend through him. You're gonna give him a 6 advice if he comes to you for advice because that's your girlfriend.
If I'm friends with her,
but that's your guy best friend.
Huh?
But that's your guy best friend. You've known him way longer than you've known her.
Yes, because here's what's gonna happen.
That's why.
Because the minute that I give you level 10 advice and your stupid ass goes back and does something different or doesn't like the response of that advice, who do you think they're going to go for? They're going to go after the friend of the 16 years of friendship. Why did you say like it turned out to be this way? That's why. You know what? I would rather give you mediocre than to be put in your situation where you're going to blame me why that relationship isn't turning around for you. But if I didn't know her,
I need another female to chime in because I don't think if I'm cool, if Jordan is my best friend, I'm dating some girl that she met through me, and I'm going to Jordan for advice on this girl. I think, in my personal opinion, I think Jordan is my best friend with loyalty to me. She would give me her utmost opinion about the situation, regardless if she is cool with old girl or not.
I'm telling you, she's not going
relationship. If I am friends,
she's not going to.
I'm not going to. That's just it. Like, deal with it. I'm not going to. If I'm friends with that girl, if it's a superficial where like I met her at,
you ain't my friend then.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I wouldn't.
Nah, you ain't my friend then.
I would honestly tell you straight up as a friend. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like what I think. Don't take it to where like I'm giving you the best because if I know my friend, like you said, loyalty, many years, more than likely I know that his habits, and I know that no matter what I say, he's probably gonna go do the damn opposite because he's still in that situation. So,
right, because Jordan knows. She knows the situation you're telling her, right? She knows what the issue is. You're giving her the issue from your perspective, but she also know you.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Jordan's not gonna give you all due respect to Jordan. Got nothing but love for Jordan. Jordan cool as hell. But she's not gonna give you a 10.
No.
I don't believe that.
Because a girl, I know you don't believe that, and I'm just telling you. Girl code, and maybe we might need to do this on the next episode. Girl code is stronger than bro code. It is. Mm-hmm. Girls don't dirty mac each other as much as dudes do.
No, yeah, I agree with that. But some girls do dirty mac though, for sure.
Oh yeah, they do it for sure.
For
sure. But like I said, she's not gonna give you. She's not going to tell you the whole rundown and everything you need to know and how you should proceed and what you need. She's not going to do that. She might say, "Oh, she playing games with you. You need to move on." That's not a 10.
No.
She's giving you her opinion, but that's not a 10.
And I'm going to tell you, it's true to that because I have my friend who I've had him for. I mean, he's my best friend. He's the freaking godfather of my kids. 16 years, like, and he comes with me with his bullshit about his girl. Honestly, I don't give him a 10. And it's not a lack of loyalty. It's not a lack of like, I don't love you. You're my friend. I'm ride or die with this guy. But the reality is he hasn't changed. The situation hasn't changed. And I know how he is. So why am I going to put energy to something where I know that it's not going to change the circumstances really for him? Like he's going to go back like a dumbass, he's going to go back. So what I do is tell him the same thing. I say, you got to fucking leave her, man. She ain't worth the shit. Like, that's the advice I give him. Then that's the extent that I give him now. Like so
is that girl potentially that is with that dude that we give that same advice to.
But I don't know that girl, so you know what I mean? Like I said, I've given the 10 advice. It hasn't gone anywhere. So now when he comes to me, I'm like, my sentence is be like, fucking leave her. Leave her. Like if you don't like it, well, obviously you must like it. So keep going. Stay back. Go back. My grandmother used to say that.
You must like it.
Yeah, my grandmother used to say this, and I hate to say it, but like this, but she would say, A woman is never gonna fucking leave a man who's beating the shit out of her until she's fucking tired of it. And when she's really tired of it, she'll leave. It's the same in all situations. When someone gets tired, they're gonna make that decision. But it doesn't matter what kind of advice, because they keep going back and keep going back and keep going back, or whatever. That's it. The circumstances cycle itself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, human nature, or whatever binds them to that person, it don't matter how loyal I am and how long I've been friends with that person. Everyone and their mother knows that my friend should leave this girl. Like, everybody knows it, but he doesn't. So the advice that I'm going to give you now is leave her then. And if you don't, well, then you don't. I mean, I'm done. It's like, that's it.
And that's why I said, Jordan, she know the situation, but she also know you. So if you're like, man, I'm in love with this girl and I want to be with her for the rest of my life, blah, 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 blah. In her mind, she's like, well, nothing I say going to change your mind.
But that still doesn't defeat the purpose that a dude could still give a female that same advice. They still could stay with the dude, regardless of the situation. That girl could keep coming back, asking for advice, and the guy could still keep giving his friend advice. And she could still keep going back to the dude.
Right, but I'm saying the reason she's saying that is because of girl code. It's girl code. It's girl code, bro. I'm trying to tell you. I got 3 sisters. It's girl code. I'm trying to tell you.
I guess, but I don't really think that that's the reason. But I mean, like, we could agree to disagree. I don't think that that's the reason.
He's being
I don't think. Yeah, I just don't think. I just don't believe in that thought process. I would like to think that my girlfriends are better than that.
I know you like to think that.
This is the godfather.
I know you would love to believe that.
We could ask him, and he could be the same. He will say the same thing that I'm saying. Like, I just know. You know, I can literally ask him, and he will tell you. He'll say the same thing that I'm saying. I was like, yeah, she's told me multiple times. She's already down to the point where, like, leave her, and that's pretty much all the advice I'm going to give.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. A dude would do the same thing. He would get to the point where he's just saying, leave him. And it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. At first initial advice, you're going to give them a 10. You said it yourself, right? Mm-hmm. You said it. Okay, so then I win. So that's what I'm saying.
It's not about winning or losing.
Initially, yes, you're absolutely right. But I think that can roll either way, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're friends and you've been friends and you're loyal to the core, and this is your friend, you know, I think it can go either way. Where it can be like, you know what, I've given all the 10 advice I could give, like the level 10. Like, now it's just going down because it's not changing anything. It's coming. Like, I've had people come with the same flipping argument. You know, they fight 1 month and then 3 months later, it's like, didn't we just have this like advice giving for the same exact thing like 3 months ago? And then they're coming back again for literally the same thing. Like, I'll give you a 10 advice if the subject is something different.
She said you got to use this coupon on something else.
Exactly, because I have zero patience, and I'm a Scorpio, and it's true to the core. I have zero patience. If you come at me with the same bullshit a month later and it's the same thing, I'm probably gonna not give you a 10. I'm gonna give you like an 8. I'm gonna drop it down even more. But if the subject is something different, then yes, you'll probably get my advice at a 10 again. Coming with the same shit, forget it. I'm not gonna waste my time. Too much energy.
Look, KP, let me ask you this question. Let's say you're in a relationship. Let's say you've been with this girl 5 years. And let's say you call Jordan and you say, Jordan, I'm messed up. I've been over here crying all day. I don't know if you cry or not, but I'm in the shower. Like you said, I'm in the shower crying, listening to R&B songs. My girl left me. Do you think her response is going to be A, that's messed up, forget her, you can do better, blah, blah, blah? Or do you think her response is going to be B, what did you do to make her leave you?
I think her response would be, oh no, KP, what happened? Talk to me.
But is that A or B?
What was A again?
A is she's trash. You could do better. I never liked her anyway. Yada yada yada. You'll be straight.
Okay.
B is what did you do to make her leave you?
What did
Yeah.
you do, or what he
Yeah.
said? What happened?
What did you do?
No, she wouldn't say either of those.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's no, she
'Cause
wouldn't do either of those.
That's like where his friend is implying that it's him, like he.
Yeah, she wouldn't do either of those.
Yeah.
She wouldn't do either of those.
Hmm.
I know that for a fact. She wouldn't say, "What did you do?" How would you even start a conversation? Like, I would have to cuss her out. like I would have to go off on her then if that's the case.
Hmm.
Like my best friend, if I was me, he'd be like, "All right, Carol, what'd you do?" But it's because he knows like that I can be very impatient. I have very like certain parameters that I tolerate and that I don't tolerate. So, in all fairness, like if he would tell me, "What did you do?" Probably, it's something that I did. You know what I mean? But would that be like the initial thing? No, I don't think that even my friends would be like, "What did you do?" Implying that it was my fault. I think it would be more of like, what happened? What, tell me.
Colleen
says, I don't even try to give advice about this anymore. LOL, it's exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love giving advice to my lady friends or to my girlfriends.
And I'm sure they love getting it because you're giving away the game. So of course they love getting it. They love getting it. They're like, I'm going through an issue. What dude can I call to tell me what guys are doing? They go call KP.
Yeah, but they also don't think that every guy has the same kind of mindset or same kind of experience to cause me to have a certain mindset that I have.
I think it's the delivery. Sorry, I would think a girl, if she's calling that friend and getting advice and it's a constant thing, I think that she would do it because the delivery. For example, like if I have a friend that I call and I want to get advice from, but I already know that their delivery is going to be like, direct to the point, you know what I mean? But I'm looking for someone not to be that way. I'm probably going to call the other guy friend I have who his delivery is more in the soft, smooth, nurturing. It all depends on the woman, like what she's like, her personality. Does she take well to directiveness and just straight up advice? Or does she need that little soft-spoken, sugar-coating?
I think you can. I think you can do both.
So KP is the.
I can do both.
You know what I mean?
I can do both.
And I also think on the other side, the friend knows how to present that delivery depending on who he's giving the advice to.
Oh, for sure. I can totally do. I do both. Like I have some female friends that I know that I could be very, very, very direct to. But then I also know that sometimes I have to be a little bit more of a nurturer to them as well. And then I have some where I'm a complete nurturer where, I have to be more of a shoulder and things like that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
You're adaptable. You're adaptable. You adapt to the environment.
For sure, because I know my friends. I know my girlfriends. So like I love it. So and they do come to me and ask me questions or ask me my opinion on certain things. And when I tell them, they ask me because they know the ones that ask me about certain things, they know that I've done a lot or had a lot of different experiences and been in a lot of different situations to where I can kind of speak to a lot of different scenarios. Whether it's right or wrong, I give them that thought process of here's something to think about.
And then you have your females who just, that they just want to be given advice on a softer side. And then you have females that, what, look, I'm telling you because I want you just to be direct. Like, I don't have time to like make this conversation long of advice. Like, I don't want to hear you talk forever and ever, never, never, never. What do you think? Let's get to the point. So I think it's just the delivery and what that particular person, you know, knowing your friend and knowing the friend that you're giving the advice to, like what their acceptance is in the delivery.
Yeah, I think I agree with you with both of y'all 100%. You got to know your friend group. Even I could say that. Like I know how I have to talk to my friends because they all have different personalities.
But if you were to put a ratio to it, probably that would be something to talk about. Like let's say you got 20 female friends, and out of 20 female friends, what's the percentage of what you think are more than likely going to need just the nurturing advice, the smooth it over kind of advice, and you know, which are the ones, like what's the average of what I can just be myself and get to the point and give that person that advice and be direct.
I think to be 100% honest, like I feel like the interesting thing about me is that the women who ask me for advice, I don't know. Because I think the women that I do know what my response is going to be, and they don't want that. So it's kind of like you said, you know which friend to go to for what delivery. The message might be the same, but you know what friend to go to hear it how you need to hear it in that moment. And I think that, like I said, I think that the women that I know personally don't, because they know what my response is going to be. And it could be because I'm a Gemini. It could be because I'm not gonna lead you on. I'm gonna tell you exactly how you need to hear it. But I also I don't think I've ever been like mean in like a delivery or anything like that. But from time to time on social media, like I will get hit up by women that I don't know. And they'll be like, hey, I just want to ask you about something. Here's my situation. What do you think about this? And I don't have a relationship with them. I don't know the other person. And I can give them my honest opinion about it. But it's also coming from a position where I'm not invested. So if it's like a friend of mine, I'm invested in you because we've been friends for years. And my delivery to you is going to be in what I feel like is your best interest. Regardless of what you think your best interest is, it's going to be what I think your best interest is, because I don't want to pacify you for you to continue to keep doing the same thing. Like you said, you come back a month later and it's the same problem. But I also feel like that is what builds my friendship bonds, because I feel like my friends know I'm gonna shoot you straight. But just to circle back, like I said, I just think that girl code is stronger than bro code, and I think that girls are gonna be like to their guy friend, like I'm gonna give them a 6 on the advice, and KP out here giving 10s
to everyone.
I'm giving 10s to my friends, yeah. Not to everyone.
Oh, okay. All right. We hit a little bit over an hour. We're gonna go ahead and wrap. I got a super busy Thursday and Friday coming up. KP, what you got for us before we get out?
Oh, thank you for joining, Nick, Mancia, Colleen. Thank you for joining as well. I appreciate you for hopping on. Sam, appreciate you, my guy. Who else hopped on? Jojo, Jordan, of course. Love you. Kyrie, appreciate you for hopping on as well. I appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe. Also for you, thank you for hopping on today. It was great to meet you. Love the energy. Hopefully you'll come on again at some point soon. And like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys all next week.
Kyrie said he wanted. I saw Kyrie after his first dabble in the comments section, and Kyrie want to be on the show. So we're gonna have to get Kyrie on the show.
All right, Kyrie, you gotta bring it.
That's gonna be a no holds barred conversation. We might have to do like a Saturday episode of that or something. Carolina,
Monday.
What you got for us? What you got for us?
It was I actually felt that this was a very good conversation. It's definitely, it actually made me think about certain things as well. Like, okay, that's a different angle. That's the way to look at it.
Talking about that's what
Now, again, I am stubborn and very prideful, so I might not change anything, but I at least listen and taking an open mind of perspective. But so no, I appreciate both of you for having me on. I look forward to see what we can do together, and I hope you guys grow immensely.
I mean, you're a Scorpio, so we don't expect you to change the way you think about things,
but right?
We just, as long as you are open-minded and we all can have great conversations. Chris said, "I made it." Who know Chris Clark?
I don't know Chris Clark.
Oh, welcome, Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
They know you, KP.
Yeah. You got fans.
Chris, KP got fans. He don't even know.
Chris Clark, what up, my guy?
You can follow him on Mr. Perkins to you on Instagram. But I just want to say, I think this was a super good episode. Great conversation. Everybody, remember, like, subscribe, share. Add all of us on your socials. Reach out. AP, always a pleasure to be in your orbit. Thank you so much for always providing a counterpoint. Love that. We need that. Carolina, thank you so much for reaching out and being open-minded enough to have conversations and expand your horizons and the way you think about things, even if you ain't gonna change, but you said it made you think about it. And that's all we trying to do is make people think and have conversations. So thank you so much. Love the energy, love the vibe. Definitely looking forward to building on this with you. So thank you again so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, both of you.
Absolutely. And shout out to Chris for making it in right before we got out of here. Kyrie, Colleen, Geneva, as always.
Geneva, Geneva. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Jojo, Sam. Let me see who else we got on here. Nick as well. Nick wasn't as active today. I don't know what Nick. He must have had something.
He's probably at the gym.
Looking at that mom.
Yeah.
Looking at that mom. And Monica, thank you so much for everybody who chipped in to the chat. We're gonna keep growing, keep doing bigger and better things. We're gonna definitely have some exciting news for you guys coming in the next couple of weeks. So until then, we love you guys. Peace out. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
What you think?